So, this story takes place. I see a girl with black hair. There is a girl with black hair, and she seems to be flying above the clouds right now. She seems to be flying above the clouds. Now I am thinking, what if a monster appears? Now the monster appears. What if the whole city, including her place of work, is destroyed, she says. Then another woman in a black hat, a woman wearing a black hat, interrupts the girl's thoughts. She was holding a very cute white cat. It turned out to be a Turkish Angora. It was a Turkish Angora. Would it be possible to keep that cat? Would it be possible to keep the cat? We must prepare that the woman in the hat put the white cat down on the floor. She put it down on the floor. At that moment, the people around her yelled at her, "What are you doing?" They began to shout, "What are you doing?" This woman does not like the behavior of the people around her. This woman does not like the behavior of the people around her. There is a story behind the heroine, and she uses it to knock people on their backs and make them faint, and knock them out. Under her hat, she has been 2 years are hidden. It is carried to school, where two friends decided to rob a sleeping friend of a picture of his cat. They rob a sleeping friend of a picture of his cat and threaten him with a gun. Decided to hold them at gunpoint at the same time. They call themselves the Cat Mafia. They start calling themselves the Mafia. The same Cat Mafia introduces a girl who tried to rob a picture of a cat. Meet the girl who tried to extort a picture of a cat. Lead Hyman, age 18. We understand that she is a normal high school girl. I understand that she is a normal high school girl, but this very normal I have no choice but to show you the following. This kitty is a friend of Chihuahua and Lee. This picture is appreciated by the friends of they can't believe that such a cute little girl, they can't believe that such a cute little girl exists, and even ask when they will visit, they even ask me when they are going to enjoy the experience. I tell them I have a little brother at home. Unfortunately, he has not succeeded because behind my friends and my own classmates see this cat. When classmates saw this cat, they not only did they stare at the cell phone, they tore the phone out of his hand to show the other boys. The boys gather around and begin to discuss the situation. Asked about the boy's hat, the girl does not understand what is so cute about this cat. I don't know what's so cute about this cat. Lee's friend tells her to return the phone. I tell them to return the phone, but our heroine won't shut up either. Because, she says, people who judge other people's tastes are still have room for her, and those who judge the tastes of the but no one laughs at her charms. She is not asked by her friends what she plans to do asked. She begins to approach the boy who initiated the started. The boy, too, was expecting a blow, but there was no such blow, and the heroine tried to take his phone away. The boy tried to explain. He tried to explain, but the heroine did not listen at all, because she was very angry. She didn't show the cat to be laughed at or returning phone calls. Heroine sat down at the table and her friends came up to her. Her friends came up to her and said it was our own fault that we got into this mess. But the heroine did not blame them. They did not blame that the heroine receives an urgent phone call that a big cat had been spotted in town. She was told that a big cat had been spotted in town. I thought the message was a joke. The message begins to reach not only the heroine but also other classmates. The message begins to reach not only the heroine but also her other classmates. After this, the incident doesn't end there. This message is broadcast throughout the school and calling for everyone to assemble in their classrooms. He asks them to assemble in their classrooms. People have no idea why they have to go back to their classrooms. Many people have no idea why they must return to their classrooms. But many do not have a good feeling. The teacher tells the entire class that today is not the last class, and tells them that it is not the last class of the day. The students reacted appropriately to this information. They began screaming at the teacher, but the teacher immediately silenced them and demanded silence. Now is not the time to be looking at the phone, he said. This is not the time to look at the phone. We must watch TV, he said, and turned on the TV. He showed the whole class that a giant cat had appeared near a subway station. On the news, no one knows where the cat came from, but no one knows where that cat came from, but was said to be wandering around the city. Because of this, stores in the city were closed and buildings with people in them don't seem safe either. All the cat can do is leave scratches here and there and prey on them. All a cat can do is leave scratches here and there and prey. Cats prey on everything that moves in a town they thought was cute. I thought cats were supposed to be cute. I thought they were cute, but they are not cute at all. From its large body, it has become a tremendous threat. The teacher who turned off the TV was even more. The teacher who turned off the TV says this out loud. The teacher who turned off the TV says loudly, "You all realize how dangerous they are. I want the students who live in that area to stay home. Students who live in the area, stay home. Students who live far away, go home. The heroine should also be convinced of the veracity of the information. Next, she sees a man driving a car. He becomes concerned and says, "I knew that such a big cat would show up. But it happened much sooner than expected," he says. It happened much sooner than expected. This man is a 49-year-old man. We know that he is a 49-year-old man who likes to explain. We see that this man has a red cat in the front seat. I talk to that cat and remind him of the time we met. You talk to the cat and remind him of the time you met the cat. At that moment, a picture appears in front of you. A picture appeared in front of you and you know that such a cat had been there before. Cats like this had been there before. Men wearing helmets with ears on them appeared with the cat. The people who wore these cat suits. The guys with the cat suits were members of a combat group called the Cutlatchers, and they are members of a fighting group called they are Cat Masters. The 49-year-old said he never thought he would become a cat ranger. He says he never thought he would become a cat ranger either. He wears a special watch. He activates it. The transformation begins. He shouts that he is the only ranger left, but even now he will be able to cope alone. He can deal with it alone. He can see that he is covered in armor, discolored in yellow color, and a helmet with ears appears. We can also see the girls at school. They may have come home, but they are also at home. She may want to see the cat alive. The heroine notices the cat, runs over to the cat and picks it up. I wonder what she hates so much about it. But that thought was interrupted by what Chaiwar. The thought is interrupted when Chaiwar begins to say, "He tells me not to be surprised, but it's a lie." The mere old man does not know what happened, so Chaiwar tries to give all the information as quickly as possible. However, the heroine does not listen to her at all. The only thing she thinks is that the Chaiwar's story is very scary. The heroine throws Chaiwar at him, but Chaiwar falls down without hurting her and she tells the heroine to come to her room. She tells him to go to her room. Chaiwar asks when she will be able to speak. Chaiwar says that now is not the time to explain. To explain that it is not the time, so he asks her to put on her watch and to put it on and gives it to the heroine. The heroine is still in shock. He was shocked by the appearance of the mysterious watch. After the watch is put on by Lee, calibration begins calibration and checks to see if the command is working properly. Checks. When the calibration is complete, the heroine utters the word transformation. She transforms without wishing it. The heroine begins to get very nervous. She is very nervous because the armor is beginning to spread throughout her body. The heroine begins to get very nervous as the armor begins to spread throughout her body. Now the heroine has become a ranger. The heroine again has no idea what is going on. She doesn't understand anything and is asking a lot of questions, but she will tell you to calm down. In order to defeat the big cats, the other cats, it is a costume made by the other cats to defeat the big cats are called long cats. The heroine tells Chihuahua that she does not want to fight. He says he doesn't want to fight and asks her to let him go. But Chihuahua quietly replies, "I don't want to fight." She says she is not asking him, but the coat, or the watch. The heroine asks the court to release her. The watch obeys, removes the suit, and releases the transformation. And removes the transformation. When the man sees this gigantic creature and is amazed that she is not even her final size. Surprised that she has not even determined her final size. Notice that she is in a loafing pose. This pose saves as much energy as possible. Energy is saved. Now is our chance to take this cat down. We think now is our chance to beat this cat, and we hurry onward. But we don't have time to realize it. We see that the uncle has failed. The cat had time to react and fight back. The hero in the yellow suit flew up and he hits the building and shatters it. If not for the suit, he would have been killed long ago. If not for the suit, he would have been killed long ago. It was then that the man finally realized. He realized that he could not win against such an opponent. And even if he got into a fight now, even if he joined the fight now, he would become this monster's toy. I will become this monster's toy. And if that happens, the human race will perish. We go back to the protagonist's home. Move again to the home of the protagonist, who is watching the news on TV. Chihuahua explains to the protagonist, who is watching the news on TV. He says that the purpose of this monster is to destroy mankind. And that man who jumped into the building is to destroy the man who jumped into the building is the last of the Rangers in Korea. He is the last of the Rangers. And realizes that he cannot defeat the mere old man alone. He hints that someone should help him. Now, if no one does anything, the long cat grows to its maximum size. So Chaiwa enters a special password from the cat's secret channel. From the cat's secret channel, which shows how big this cat will grow. This cat can grow up to the size of a skyscraper. It can grow to the size of a skyscraper, and then can grow to the size of a skyscraper, and then spew out more lasers. Spew out a laser and then use that laser to begin to incinerate the entire population of this city. The heroine is frightened because this long cat poses a threat to the entire city. Because this long cat is a threat to the entire city. It is not difficult to destroy the once its power reaches its peak. It is not difficult to destroy the city. Someone has to stop it, he says. The hero has to do it. Why was the heroine chosen for this role? Why her, of all people? I haven't had a fight since elementary school. I haven't even had a fight since elementary school. I haven't had a fight since elementary school. In the 5th grade, I beat up a boy in my class. But that was a feline intuition. There is something special about him. But the heroine has her head in the sand. Said, I don't know and I don't understand. Because most of us were all like this when I was in junior high school. A long time has passed since that incident passed, and now I am a normal high school student. I became a normal high school student, but Chihua says, I have no more time. There is no more time. Do we fight against Keith for a long time, or do we run away as fast as we can? The heroine apologizes to Shiver and leaves. Once there, she sits down on the couch and says, you deserve to escape, so let's get you as far away from here as we can. You deserve to escape, so let's get you as far away from here as we can. While the heroine was running, she was thinking about many things. How could such an ordinary high school girl defeat a huge monster? But what would happen to the city if she didn't? What will happen to the city? The heroine visits her home and begs Shiver's forgiveness. She asks for Shiver's forgiveness. It is not his own fault. She holds her hand up to the clock and sees that her hand is shaking. I can see her hand trembling, but she continues to reach for the clock. I reach for the watch and again. Shiver has already accepted the situation. There is nothing I can do. She takes out the peppermint and drinks the peppermint. She takes out the peppermint she has been saving for a case like this, takes out the out and decided to see out the last second. He decided to take the peppermint out and watch the last second. At one moment, he saw another man in a cat suit. Man in a cat suit was shown on the TV. The man is running as fast as a car. His speed is as fast as a car. I understood that this man was the protagonist. She understood that he was the protagonist and said excitedly, I am the protagonist. He believed that she would save the city. He will save the city, that is what he knows she is. Sashawa continues to reflect and insist. He continues to insist that he made the right decision in choosing her for another role. I was right to choose Ranger. That was what attracted me to Chihuahua. She was attracted to her mistress. On the other side of the screen, she couldn't understand how she could move so fast. She runs so fast she doesn't notice the motor of the car. She doesn't notice the driver of the car to hit the heroine, but the heroine tries to hit but the heroine manages to jump back so quickly that the driver of the car does not notice that she is about to hit the car. The driver even doesn't know what has happened. That's when we see that the heroine didn't just jump back, she jumped up. She flew up to the same height as the helicopter. Our heroine was very worried, but decided to land like a cat. The people who almost had the accident were still not know what had happened, but the heroine landed as if nothing had happened and said, I am not dead, as if nothing had happened. I am not dead. The heroine remembers. Just now, I jumped into the sky. I could not believe my eyes. I couldn't believe my eyes to see if it was possible. Not only was it possible, but she survived. If that was a costume, it means you can beat the big guy. It means I can beat the big guy. He asks, are you sure? And I reply, I'm fine. I answer that I am fine because I didn't even crash. The heroine hurries off. The driver wonders what that was all about. Then again, we see that the uncle has been cornered. You can see that he is cornered. He is already on the offensive. And when that happens, uncle can't counter. Uncle gets more and more nervous. Because in the next 35 minutes, because the giant will be in maximum disarray. Because in another 35 minutes, the giant will be at its maximum strength. At that time, uncle to defeat an opponent like this, it is still the best way to defeat such an opponent is to take their backs, but the cat was not so easy. With a light swing of its paw, it reached the uncle. The uncle fell to the ground, and at first thought he could still escape. The cat used a trick called Kochink on the uncle. Kati jinked, the uncle became upset and uncle had already started apologizing to his loved ones. I started apologizing to him. Before saying goodbye to all his relatives, uncle noticed a tall man. Upon closer inspection, it was not just any man. Realized that it was not just any man, but a new ranger. I noticed that it was a new ranger. He fell on the face of a giant cat and the cat let go. I didn't notice the uncle, who was shocked because he saw the new ranger. Besides, he was now interested. Besides, having seen the new ranger, he was interested not only in that, but also in what she was going to do. But the heroine herself is not sure what to do. The only thing that came to her mind was to punch the cat. Her uncle looked at her and said it would be reckless to do such a thing. The protagonist also realized this. After looking into the cat's eyes, the cat raised its huge paw again and threw the heroine off. It raised its paw and threw the heroine off. As the heroine fell to the ground, the uncle ran up to the heroine and the uncle said it was a reckless act. He said it was a reckless act, but this is exactly the kind of decision that needed to be made. This is why the picture of the uncle holding up the heroine is so uncle holding up the heroine. He asks the heroine, "Are you okay?" But I don't think the heroine would complain to the rangers. But while the rangers were talking, I don't think the heroine complained. The uncle noticed that the cat was angry and cat punches the cat. The heroes begin to dodge, comparing the cat's blows to meteors. They begin to dodge the cat punch, comparing it to a meteor shower. While the heroes are dodging the heroes and the uncle become friends little by little. Little by little they get to know each other. Cod Orange turns out to be a neighborly friend. If the heroine meets a giant cat on her first day, suppose you met a huge cat on your first day. Either she was unlucky or the cat was in a big hurry. If you met a huge cat on your first day, you were either unlucky or the cat was in a big hurry before you could explain. Then the hero begins to formulate a plan. He makes a plan on how he will defeat this giant. How will we defeat this giant? If the cat wants to maintain this size, it needs to take in lots of calories. But this cat doesn't eat anything. The heroine wonders. This cat is moving very fast. Where does it get its energy from? The uncle's answer is this. It gets energy from the stone hanging from its neck. It is a stone hanging from its neck and it is called a meow stone. It is called the meow stone. This stone has great power to feed the cat's energy. If you take away this stone, the cat will hibernate and you will win. It will go into hibernation. While we were talking about this plan, the cat attacked us. When the heroine tries to help the uncle said, "Now is your chance," and said, "That's why time to get the stone. You have a minute to do so. 12 minutes left for the transformation." Everything depends on the protagonist. The future is in this girl's hands. The man shouts, "I don't have time to think about that. I don't have time to think about it. It doesn't matter." The man shouts, "I don't have time to think about heroine's first transformation or not. The most important thing right now is to give it your all. Do your best, or at least try. Because, after all, they have no choice. We must do something to protect the future of humanity. To protect the future of humanity, now. Everything is in her hands." The heroine decides to try. "I wondered if I could do such a thing. The fastest I ever ran was when I ran to the cafeteria. It was when I ran to the canteen. It was when I ran to get to the cafeteria. It was the time I jumped over the heads of my classmates. I once jumped over the heads of my classmates. What happens when I jump up? How do I get to the big cat? Will I get to the big cat? Still, if I miss, I would slowly walk toward the cat, thinking, what if I don't make it? Yet, if I fail, it's not my fault. If I fail, it won't be my fault. So as I run I shout and ask my fate. Is the fate of mankind in the hands of those who can't even do their homework well? Is the fate of mankind in the hands of people who can't even do their homework well? I chase after the cat. I wonder what I will do. He gets Pablo, but sees that the heroine is already running. That the heroine is already running toward the same goal. He is running toward his goal. To the stone is hanging from his neck. He almost reaches it, but with his paw and flies in the same direction. As he flew in the same direction as the movement of his paw, she thought that she couldn't do it and scolded herself. She told me not to listen to her. She and her uncle think this town is finished. My uncle thinks this town is over. That he's a mediocre man. I can't believe I'm being given such an important job. I never thought I'd be entrusted with an important job. And yet, to protect people's lives. To protect people's lives. I get up and jump up again. So many rangers have been fighting for so long. Because so many rangers have been fighting for so long, it is time for me to show up. Uncle uses the abilities granted to the enhanced cat suit. Suit called the enhanced cat claws, but the heroine looks at him and wonders what is he going to do? What is he going to do? What does he want to do? He gets into a preparatory position, but the swing was so great that the heroine decided to accept his death. Our heroine was ready to accept his death, but at that moment we saw a man slashing at a cat with his claws, and we saw the man cut the cat's collar with his claws. The collar came off and the heroine, screaming in terror, so that the cat that was trying to kill her saw it transformed into a small kitten. I saw it turn into a kitten that did no harm. To pick it up and check it out. The uncle and the heroine. The heroine ate meat on the roof. The uncle praised her work. And he showed us when the collar is removed. The cat tell us that it goes into sleepy long cat mode. He also gave the heroine the amulet she got from the cat. I really wanted to take it myself, but since the heroine saved me twice gives it to him, he asks me to show it to the cat. He says he still has some power left, so he wants to show it to the cat. My uncle takes off his own costume off so that I can see his face. He apologizes for forgetting to introduce himself. I forgot to introduce myself. I do, so I ask him to call me uncle. Also explain that all cat rangers have their own reasons. I explain that every ranger has its own reason for being a cat. He says that he does not know the heroine's reasons, but she must be careful. Certain events have begun in the city of Kiana. Before, it was always rangers used to take care of them. But these incidents started to happen less and less, and the rangers started to leave the area. The rangers also started leaving the area. He was now the only ranger left, but she joined him, and when he gave up his cat, he gave up his heroine. Told the heroine that she reminded him of his old leader. He told the heroine that she reminded him of his. He said he knows how to disobey when necessary. He said they know how to disobey when necessary. She said they bragged to everyone that they had saved humanity. But the heroine doesn't believe she has saved humanity. I don't think I saved the arrow. I went home and gave that stone to my cat. He was very happy because he saw that stone in his eyes. I took his arm and told him to explain what had happened. At first there was a huge cat, and then I showed him that was there, and that cat was a weapon against humanity. It turned out that the cat was a weapon against humanity. And conversing with it. It is a strange costume, but the cat was surprised that she had activated it. However, in her room someone entered her room. Did you see the news? It was her brother who asked the sister what she was wearing, what clothes she was wearing, and see how her brother entered the house. Then I see that my brother first joined the computer club, but what happened outside? All that news is boiling over. The brother enters the apartment. Wondering if his sister knows about it, he calls out to his sister, wondering if she knows the news. He calls out to her to see if she has seen the news, and at that moment my sister's catsuit slips off. I saw my sister's catsuit slip off. I asked her back what she was wearing, but eventually understand that she didn't have time to notice. He began to scold his sister. I started scolding her for wearing the sweatshirt. I told her repeatedly not to wear it. I apologized and said I would wash it, but the brother got angry. He went to his room and told me that I could take it away. I even took it away from him. The heroine is breathing a sigh of relief because her brother has not noticed anything. The brother does not notice anything, which is a relief. The cat begins to tell the story of what is going on. Actually, the cat was not born on this planet. It is truly an alien. At that moment, the heroine interrupted him and asked, "Are you an alien?" Chihuahua said yes. He continued his story. He said that in the past, Mao's ancestors traveled through space. He traveled through space and met a blue planet called Mao. He met a blue planet called Earth. One of the scientists was observing that planet. One of the scientists who was observing that planet came up with the idea of growing catnip. We came up with the idea of growing catnip. He wanted to populate the planet again. They wiped out the dinosaurs. They interfered with the planting of catnip, sent long cats to clean up the planet. They sent the long cats to clean up the earth, even though he is not yet as he should be. Even though it is not yet in its original form, he said. He needed a slave who could plant catnip. Find a surviving monkey. Find surviving monkeys. Create a new species. We created a new species with intelligence and named them sea monkeys. We called them modern humans. Ancient cats accelerated civilization. Accelerated the development of civilization. Finally, they learned to farm. If you look for it, there are so many traces of cats in history. The fact that there is a place for cats in every culture proves this. There is a place for cats in every culture. Who would have imagined that the love for cats was genetically endowed? Who would have thought that the love of cats was genetic? But in any case, we owe it to man and to our ancestors. Thanks to our ancestors, our land has become a tourist destination for the cat people. So we have become a tourist destination. However, there are mutants among humans who destroy the environment, and destroying the environment and also abuse the cats. They never imagined that they were tourists visiting their planet. So one of the cats proposed to exterminate both humans and cats. He proposed to exterminate both humans and dinosaurs. I proposed that we exterminate the dinosaurs as well. I proposed to do the same. We sent ships into space ready to attack the Earth. Ready to attack the Earth. To exterminate the human race. He thought he would have time before the ship arrived. Because of today's events, he decided that the annihilation of the human race has already begun. And the annihilation of the human race has already begun. He explains that there are cats who do not want that. When the heroine starts laughing, the cat starts to laugh. But the cat cannot understand why they are laughing. But she says that she finally understands. Who is writing down conspiratorial questions? Conspiracy theory questions. Leaning against the wall, lean against the wall and ask yourself. I ask myself, what is this? I talk to my cat as if it were a human being. I would be like a human being. This event is happening on the street. A man is feeding and talking to his cat. He is feeding his cat and talking to it. He is asking it to eat the food. He asks the cat to eat it because it is expensive, and the cat looks at him. He thinks that he is a good man. He decides to make him his slave. He decides to use one of the cats. He is surprised and jumps back. He is very surprised at what the cat did. But the cat told him, don't be surprised. He told me to come back tomorrow after work. A man sitting at work wonders, how is it possible for a cat to talk? But I realized that there was no point in thinking about it. I realized that there is no point in thinking about it and just come to the conclusion that it is possible. I thought it would be very nice, and after work I met the cat and asked her how long she had been waiting. I asked her if she had been waiting and she said yes. I was surprised because she was very honest. The man starts asking questions. I asked her who taught her how to speak. She replied that she had been speaking since birth. She replied that she had been speaking since birth. She replied that she had been speaking since she was born. Tries to ask the most important question. He wants to command the I want to order him to do something right now. But if he doesn't want to do it, you can ask him to do it. My friend is in danger. Will he be able to help? The man thinks it is a good thing that the cat has a friend, and I decided to help the cat because I thought it was a good thing for the cat to have a friend. The cat was very happy with this information. It was so happy about it that it immediately gave the man the watch that the cat ranger had. The man was happy to give the man the watch that the ranger had. However, the cat gives the watch instructions. It tells him to press a button. When he presses the button feels very hot. Press the button feels very hot. I am covered in ribbons. I look at myself and realize that I am now wearing a strange costume. I am wearing a strange outfit. When I ask, the cat says, this is a protective suit. It makes me stronger, as if by magic. As if by magic. He asks me to call this a magical cat suit. He said, call it a magic cat suit. When you piss off your feline friends, they become very strong. Then we move on to a construction site. A man says, I have a plan. A man says, in order to carry out his plan, he needs to be away from people. He says, I need to be in the middle of nowhere. This is what he says. But the truth is that it is very serious. So the first thing you do is put the cat in a box. Put the cat in the box, then put in the device that you made yourself. Put in a device that you have made yourself. This is a special device that, at a certain time, releases a powerful poison. At a certain time, it has a certain probability of releasing a stronger poison. It is a special device that releases a strong poison at a certain probability. All that remained was to close the box. But then the same boy appears at that moment. The same boy appeared and asked him to explain what he was about to do. But the culprit said, no one is here, so what are you doing here? There should be no one here, so what are you doing here? But who is the boy? But the boy exclaimed, I'm not here. This is no way to treat a living creature. It is like a toy. We cannot allow this criminal to get away with it, so try to take the cat by force. The man also activates his suit and starts running towards the child. He runs toward the child. The child watches him. Watching him, he seems to be moving very fast at first. It looked like he was moving very fast, but then he got used to it. They got used to it, and then they started moving slower and slower and slower, and then they started attacked. The culprit turned out to be that man. Attacked the man. This cat is the long cat that attacked the town. This is the long cat that attacked the town. I didn't know what was going on, but that cat came out and was recognized by my uncle, and the uncle realizes it is the cat that was sealed by his friend. He realized that it was the cat that Dr. Schrödinger had sealed. Schrödinger was amazed. A man had heard about him. This cat had been able to get out and come here. And now he could finish the job. Activate the clocks on his pores. The clock on his pores started to move, and so did the ribbon. Ribbons appeared around him as well, and Uncle looked at him. The uncle was horrified at the sight of her. It was definitely her. He realizes that it is Nero the black cat, the ranger's nemesis. Both Nero and Uncle are shocked. No one had expected this. It is then that the uncle realizes that they did the long cat. Realizing that it was they who killed the long cat, he asks how was she able to come back from the shackles. She said that if he found out about the ceiling, her rule is that if he finds out about the ceiling, she kills him right away. She said, I'll kill him right away. To answer that question, she said she would keep him alive until the day of judgment, the day of the purification of the people. But she asked her uncle, where is the stone? She asks where is the stone, but her uncle does not want to tell this person. The uncle does not want to tell this person. Her uncle does not want to tell this person. This is because she is the commander of a unit sent to Earth to destroy mankind. Nero, the commander of a unit sent to Earth to destroy mankind. Whether or not he'll make it back alive, but Nero says he's made up his mind. Nero asked his new slave to kill his uncle. He asked his new slave to kill the uncle. He quickly realized that he couldn't do it alone. Realizing that he could not do it alone, he decided to leave the place. I decided to leave the place. Realizing that he was much faster than before. Nero is evil, he tried to kill people I thought, but before I could say so. Before he did, he realized that Nero was already on top of his uncle. He realizes that he is on top of his uncle and tries to kill him. The uncle begs for mercy, but he asks for mercy, but the boy does not understand what he is doing. He asks if his uncle is okay. He asks for his uncle's forgiveness and offers his hand to stand up. He asks for his uncle's forgiveness and offers his hand to stand up, but he wonders. He was there a moment ago, and now he's leaning over his uncle's body, but my uncle didn't know what was going on. A moment ago, the kid was beating his uncle, and he wondered why was it the effect of the stamp? Was it the effect of the stamp? There were so many questions in my uncle's head, but also Nero's. Nero was not in the best of shape and did not understand what was happening to him, does not understand what is happening. He seems to have spent too much energy on Longman, and he seems to have spent too much energy on Longman. I decided to look for the Moheen stone that fell off the long knit. I decided to look for the because if I couldn't do that, I wouldn't be able to fully exert myself. I decided to look for the mere old man. I decided to run away immediately, because if I did not do this, I would not be able to do anything. I can't do anything at this point. The boy who touched the cat remembered that he had defended the cat as a child. I remember how I defended the cat when I was a child. Even though everyone threw stones at him, he did not want to do that. Under pressure from his friends, he decided to throw his own. I decided to throw. He thought that nothing would happen if he threw stones. When he threw the stone, all his friends were elated that the stone hit the target. When he said the stone hit the target, all his friends exclaimed. The first time it hit the target, I immediately ran to the cat. I tried to call the cat. Unfortunately, the cat was dead. The child decided to take care of the two cats. On the 20th of July, the phone rang and our heroine woke up in bed. She woke up in bed and saw her hand. When she looked at her hand, she saw that the watch she wore yesterday to save the world was still there. It was the watch she wore yesterday to save the world. I guess it wasn't a dream. The heroine's brother ran into the room. He jumped into the room and shouted, "It's time to wake up, and how long are you listening to me? How long are you listening to me? I can't believe you didn't stop the alarm clock. I can't believe you won't stop the alarm clock. I have nothing to do today. I really don't have anything to do today. I could just go back to sleep." And he continues to shout, "I'm sorry. I made you toast, but you might not eat it." But the heroine says, "Eat it." Because I asked the heroine to leave the room. I asked the heroine to leave the room because the heroine did not have enough time to get ready. She said she would put on her brother's clothes. He tells her again that he doesn't like to wear his brother's clothes. But the heroine says this, that her brother is alive because of her. The brother does not understand what she is saying. The brother does not understand what she is saying. But the heroine warns the brother that she warns him that she will not save him if he acts this way. She says she cannot save him if he is attacked by a cat. She can't save him if he gets attacked by a cat. And generally she likes his stuff. The brother screams, but she just leaves the room. She leaves the room. Tom doesn't like that, so he yells out. Tom doesn't like it, so he shouts loudly that he won't leave him alone. The heroine arrives at school. She comes to school and sighs in relief that she is not late. He sighs in relief that he is not late. We were talking about I was going to be late, but today I was not. I had to go to school. I wonder if I should be so concerned. I decided to look at my cell phone. Looking at her cell phone, she just couldn't understand why is there no mention of the cat. The cat that almost destroyed the city yesterday. There is no mention of the cat that almost destroyed the city yesterday. I went to school and drank my juice. While drinking juice, she asks, "Did you see the big cat? Did you see the big cat?" But they don't say anything. But they don't say anything. The friend was looking for something to read at leisure. I was looking for something to read at leisure. We started a conversation that the conversation started that I should read the book. The heroine comes to the conclusion that they had all forgotten. They had forgotten. The friends ask her to tell them about this manhwa, but the heroine replies that there is nothing to tell. So the heroine goes to the bathroom and toilet, sits on the toilet bowl, and begins to try on her outfit. She tries it on again and confirms that it is not a dream. He confirms that it is not a dream and goes on the internet, decides to look it up on the internet. The heroine realized that everyone did not remember the cat. She realized that they did not remember that she learned that it was due to a gas leak. I felt like I was in a different world, seemed to live in another world, but she decided to ask her watch. To ask it. But even the cat did not know the answer. Even the cat does not know. Only Chihuahua can know the answer. I thought only Chihuahua could answer the question. I go to Chihuahua and ask him to answer. But Chihuahua won't answer. He can talk, but for some reason he doesn't want to answer. The heroine wonders if he really cannot speak. But then a ball of catnip flies from Chihuahua. The catnip comes flying out of Chihuahua's mouth and it ends up on the heroine's face. Why did he shake her like that? But the heroine calmed down. The heroine calmed down and asked, "Why does nobody remembers anything? I am going to tell you now, so please calm down." So Chihuahua, in starting his story, asked the heroine's dot, "Why do people like cats?" I asked her the question, "Why do people like cats?" Of course, everyone likes cats. It is because they are cute. Then Chihuahua said, "There are many cute cats in nature, but they are the only successful ones. The reason is that the ancestors of cats brainwash humans. They say it is because they were brainwashed. Man was created to serve the cat people. Therefore, they were made to follow the cat's orders." Sidebar continued. When you see a cat on the street, you feel as if you have been hypnotized. It's like being hypnotized. It's like being hypnotized in your soul. It's a wave of brainwashing that spreads through people. When people succumb to those waves, they don't even know it. Unknowingly, they begin to pay homage to that cat. We pay homage to the person who represents the cat people. It often seems as if we are friendly to cats, but in fact, it is all brainwashing. We are brainwashed. In ancient times, a certain seal used to meow, and some say that they were completely subjugated. Or at least that is what is said. However, if you do that, your brain will soon die and you will die quickly, and it is said that this is very likely. All shivers are just fables. Forgetting what happened yesterday and is also a result of brainwashing. Because of this ability, the cat people hide from prying eyes. It is because of this ability that the cat people hide from prying eyes. In addition to the 10 waves emanating from the cat, they also have special commands to hide the cat's presence. They can erase all traces of the cat's presence. If you go out into the city, there is many cats that do nothing but brainwash you. Some cats brainwash, some cats control information. And Chihuahua is one of them. There are cats that control some cats control the information, and Chihuahua is one of them. He likes to work at home, but Chihuahua says that she allows the heroine to remember what happened yesterday. But why does her memory says? She says it's because of Catwatch. The Catwatch absorbs the waves of brainwashing and purifies the environment.